Alright, checked and talk of the day, Tuesday, June the 27th, 8:16 a.m. Central Daylight Savings Time. You know, a lot of people, the people that watch my videos, and maybe some that even choose not to, they probably think, oh, sharpshooter, he's like a nutcase or whatever. He don't detect. He don't know much about detecting all that stuff. Well, everybody can have their opinion, I guess. I'm going to show you a few things here that I found. These all came from the same area. Some of them were found actually 500 yards from one another. That's about right. 475, 500 based on my laser. Now these were found in Middle Tennessee. And I'm going to talk more about this later because some people may live in southern Kentucky, eastern Kentucky, eastern Tennessee. And, this might even apply to places like North Alabama, even Georgia, maybe other places in the United States. Anyway, that's a cap bust dime there. I don't know how good this camera is going to focus on that thing, but I broke it. It was bent. I never could see a year on it, but it's clearly a cap bust dime. This is a 1/4 of a Spanish silver dollar found with a Minelab E-Track with a SEF 10x12 coil. That's the first bit I found on this site. This bit here, it's got that green color to it. That is a Spanish bit. Okay, let's see if this camera's going to focus here. There we go. But it's a fake. See it? And it reads low. It don't read like Spanish silver. Found with that Equinox in the biggest coil. That's the second find I dug, I believe, with that coil. It might have been the first. It's either the first or the second find. Okay, and there's that cap bust down. Maybe the camera's a little more focused. You can see that shield thing on the back of it. Now these two dimes come from down there. Same year, a half dime and the dime. Not too far apart either from where both of these were located. Now, these two coins here, I believe both of these were found with the Equinox. They're identical, but one of them is a partial. This one is 1778. And this one here is that one right there, 1784. And then I've got these two bits here. One of these was found with a CTX, I don't know which one. And the other one was found with a JS1 HF call. This half dime right here was found with that HF call. Elliptical. And there's no telling how many times I swept over that half dime right there. And it was a mere, probably, truthfully, no more than 4 inches deep. It could have been as shallow as 3. There's a pair of trees down there. And there is no telling how many times I swept Deus 1, E-Track, and some other detectors. And my first hunt in that site with that call found that right there. That cap bust dime right there was found with a Nocta relic machine. Right in the same area an old jail used to stand in this settlement. That ring there was found with the E-Track in the same site. A lot of iron in this site. Okay, and then the smallest of bits here. It's a small. This area, actually, where this was found, had some archaeological digging done. I suspect this may have fell through their screen box, because they use screen boxes, but I can't prove that. Probably about 4, no more than 5 inches deep with the JS2 elliptical high frequency call. again, the first time I took this call in the site area where this was, I found it. And I've been in there with other detectors. You know, there was a lot of coincidences with that elliptical HF call running in the middle band. It got me this half dime, this smallest bit, and not shown here. I think I've only dug, truth be told, I've only dug about 4 Indian head pennies off of this entire site. And 2 nickels, a 1902 and a 1888. I dug the 1888 not too long ago with a JS2. Okay. So, in this area where I live, this would go for any of the hill country in Tennessee. If you've got a river, there's where you're going to find your stuff. That's where the people live. That's where the settlements were. So you go into East Tennessee, you go up, and now I know a gentleman, I hadn't talked to him in a long time. He lives northeast of me. He has found some of these bits in southern Kentucky around the same river where I found these. Now, when I started reporting on these, I reported on these on the Dankowski site, you know. And, you know, Sharpshooter's a truth teller, okay? I'm not a bullshitter. But would you believe it? There was some clown over there, I guess he lives in Michigan, was saying, oh, well, them's fake because you can't find Spanish silver this far inland where I live. Well, that gentleman evidently don't know what he's talking about. There is another gentleman that lives not far from this site where these was found. I even put a picture up where he had found some with a White's XLT detector. He hunted this site a whole lot the first 5 years probably after the XLT White's machine released. He pounded this place best he could with that detector. Now that detector, you know, he found some nice stuff. Okay. Finding this stuff right here and all the others. Now remember, I just didn't go down there and find this, folks. Did I dig some iron in that site? Yes. Did I dig some junk targets? Yes. I even dug some of them little harps down there. I think I dug 3 of them down there. I didn't even know what they were. I thought they were junk. Somebody told me about one of them, and I've still got them out here in a sack in one of my barns. Jewel harp, or whatever they call them. So yeah, you live Middle Tennessee, East Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky, maybe Northern Alabama, where it's hilly. See, the places around here, folks, the wagon roads around here, it was tough in the early days. And the only way commerce could move around here was by water. So these settlements and the bigger farms were down at the, you know, closer to the water where the land is generally leveler here. You'll have bigger areas level. Okay? Now, one thing to note, and if you pursue, and you know, I want everybody to be successful detecting, and maybe somebody that lives sort of near my area, you know, or in the geographic that I described in this video. One thing that I noticed in this site where I found the stuff here, there is some land down there that is actually timberable, but it's in the floodplain, and so you don't expect to see, you know, those back then they were even smart enough not to build where the river would flood. Okay, so just running down to the water's edge here may not necessarily be the smartest thing to do. You may have to get up away from that to where they actually built the structures. Okay, but this site was it's interesting. You know, I still have permission to hunt it, but it's changed somewhat with some crops being planted. Several years went by, no crops were planted on it. It was all pasture. Well, one part was a hay field that was taken taken care of. And the other side was a cow pasture. Well, that's changed now. It's so disappointing for me because those corn stalks and soybean stalks, they usually alternate it. It's hard to hunt down there now, okay? I spent a lot of time down there with a lot of different detectors. So it taught me a whole lot, and I'd go down there and hunt, and I would read, see what some other people had to say. Dankowski's farm had more action on it then. I wish he would get his site updated. I really do. There was some good information over there. He still posts good information, folks. Mr. Dankowski's no fool, okay? Because a lot of what he was telling me, or I was reading, I was seeing in this site, okay, with metal detectors. I started connecting the dots, okay? I started in December 2010. Believe it or not, I started in this site that early, but I didn't find a lot of what you see here. I hunted that site down there hard, and I mean hard, pretty religiously. And there's a couple of barber dimes that was found in this one area close to where this 1845 seeded dime was found. So I dug this, maybe a barber, a couple of mercuries or whatever, and I dug this ring right here and this bit. That's all I dug down there the first probably 5 years. That was and one Indian head, and I dug the rest of this later on when I started using other detectors. This was done with 8-track. Okay. So anyway, I just thought I would share. You know, some folks may find this interesting. Hope you enjoyed.